This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another day of training. Today, per Tom's request and some insight that we have as far as our digital library and some exciting announcements, today, not only are we going to review what products are in the library, today I wanted to kind of give you guys an example of what a teacher or what a therapist would do to access the materials and how they would actually use this. This would be very beneficial if you're going into a district or emailing or having correspondence with a district and letting them understand this is why this material would work for your teachers working remotely. So let me close out of that. First off, we reviewed this earlier, but from our home page, you'll notice that we do have from our homepage, you'll notice we have our digital products. We simply click that, and then of course this is going to bring up our library. So I want you to understand that from this, we have a lot of products on here. Now, right now, a teacher would simply identify the area that they're working on. Do I want to do workbooks, which are on the left, or do I want to do card sets with a group of students? So once they identify that, then they're able to choose those activities, and we will review that in just one moment. But I do want to give you a heads up. At the top of this page, this is for you guys, you can see tutorials, but we also have new workbook features. So when we click that, that will again show you not only the videos that we have, but new features that we have as far as the interface and what it looks like. So those are nice, quick tutorials that you can include with your emails, send to schools, etc., so that they can get an inside look into how the interface has been updated. All right, with this, I also want to remind you for students and teachers, when you're explaining to administrators that we do have a digital library for them to use, I want to also have you remind them of our pre and post data sheets. Data is probably the most important thing that we can do when we're working with our students. So with this, all of our fun decks have data sheets. So as a student is working on a skill, the teacher can simply click those, and then of course they can print these out and use this for their data collection. So they don't have to do it on a legal pad, anything like that. It's nice, it's neat, it's organized, it's coded so they understand what activities they were working on. And then we even have sections at the bottom for them to include the student's name and track their progress in a graph form over time, and include specific notes and recommendations as well. So it's important to remind them that those are available as they're using our digital library. All right, let me click this down and get back over to my there we go. All right, and our data sheets. There we are. All right, digital library. So for this, that's the new one. Let me just go back here. There we go. All right, so for this, how would a teacher actually use this? Okay, so for this, what a teacher would do is for remote learning, of course, they're not going to be able to see this teacher's screen as if they're just logging in with an email, etc. So either districts or schools will use, say, Google Meet, Zoom, those kind of platforms that are built for teletherapy so that the teacher can see the students can log on. We've all done like we're doing right now with our GoToMeeting, etc. Now, with those platforms, they also have a screen share option. So as I'm doing right now, you're able to see my screen. That is exactly what the teachers will do with their students. So it's a nice form of once they log in, they can simply access our digital library and screen share with the students. This is very effective, so that let's just take our hidden pictures workbook. So you notice the workbook will come up. And we have the different features. So the students are going to practice their articulation skills. The teacher can either click through, find the index, and then identify the page number that they're going to. Or if they want to have this information handy, at the top, we have an index. We simply click the index, and it brings that over to the side of the screen. This is for quick reference. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I think it's frozen.
Is yours frozen? Is everybody's frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, it just came back.
I can see
Okay.
it now. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Let me go back for that. Yeah, I think I had clicked a different button on there. So, okay. So let's see. There we go. All right, so you guys can see this. This is from the actual workbook. When I clicked on it, the teachers can actually either look for the pages in here, or they can click this index button and have that on the side as well. We just tried to make it easy for them instead of having to click from the front. If they're in the workbook and working on a specific section, such as this, they can use this toolbar and index instead of having to go back to the front of the book each time. But some of the nice new features that we've added, if this is small for the students, this page size zoom, we can click that, and now we can increase this page for better visibility for the students. We can move it around, etc., however we like it. If we like the picture here, we can always click, slide the menu bar out of the way, and now we have a full screen to work with the students. If you would typically like a full screen, we do have some teachers that have said that they don't like the ability for the students to be able to see their open tabs at the top. So if you just use F11, that takes the screen, that will take it to a full screen as well. So with this, a nice new feature that we have that's wonderful teachers and students. I will mention that along with the screen share option, so the students are able to see what the teacher is presenting to them, you also have a student remote control feature. As you see here on mine, it says remote control. So I would be able to give anyone that's participating in the meeting remote control to my mouse so that they would have the option of identifying the correct answer, etc. So for this example, if I wanted to have a student do the activity, I could use remote control. Then this markup is wonderful. We have added a draw feature. Click that, you can choose a color. So let's just choose blue. And now that provides a blue icon on our mouse. So for this, I could say, do our activities, and then you can color the water in the pool blue. They just simply click, and that allows them to color. So not only is it a nice way to have the student involved or all the students in the group involved, it will provide them with, a colorful picture and an interactive activity for them to use during these tasks. Once we're done, say if you want another student, you can transfer students and have each student color a different section if you'd like. Once we're done with the markup section, you can simply click off and go back. For the page views, let me click on that. What did I click? There we go.
So where is the remote control on GoToMeetings?
Now for GoToMeetings, can you see my menu at the top of my page here? Can you see this menu?
No.
Okay, I have a menu that allows me to stop my screen sharing. This menu bar pops up for screen sharing. So it allows me to have options that I'm the presenter. I can share the screen. I can pause the screen. I can use remote control. It will be different for each platform. So Zoom has screen sharing and remote control options. Google Meet has one that's called Present Now for screen share. And basically, the customer comments that I get, how do I screen share? How do I use remote control with these platforms? Is I simply do a Google search. And all of these companies typically have a how to screen share, how to provide remote control to participants. And it's a simple, quick video to show you how to do specifically with that platform.
So can you give Ann control of your mouse?
Leanne?
Ann.
No, Ann, let's see.
Ann's on it. That's who was talking, right?
Yeah, let's see. I have
As long as she doesn't write anything inappropriate.
let's see. I have I don't see Ann's name on my. No, I can do it with everyone. Let's see if I do it for everyone.
Ann's getting on late. If she's not on, she was on a call.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Tom, I can give it to you, right? Well, let's see. All right. Now, yep. Okay, I think Elizabeth has it right now. And then you just simply
I do.
click. Yeah, just click and drag, and that should color everything.
Okay.
And that's exactly what the student would do. I would give them a prompt, and the student would take over control and then be able to do the activities that we're looking for, whether it was coloring an item, whether it was selecting the correct answer. I'll show you in just a few minutes where we're playing a board game.
This is me right now. I have it. This is cool. Yeah. This is great.
Let me scroll over. I'm gonna click off. I'm gonna scroll over and show you. Let's see if I can move this bar here again. Right. I'm gonna click out of this. Let's see which one I'm on right now. That one. Okay, this one. All right. Let me show you one that is pretty cool. If we're doing our articulation activities with our card decks, the workbooks are activities that you can do and share and print and save, etc. The card decks are probably what most of our teachers and therapists will do because we're working on a specific skill. This also has our game modes. So if you're familiar with just logging into a simple card deck, when we click modes, we can do freestyle. And freestyle just allows me to teach with these cards. It will overlay, and you simply just move the cards to where you want them on the screen. If your screen is blurry, if they say I can't see this, it's too blurry, etc., the menu bar on the right, the scroll, you simply click and drag, and that will increase the size of the cards. So now we have either if a student has visual impairments or if you just like to have larger pictures, for clarity, you can always just use the sidebar to raise and lower that. If you want to create your own, say, memory game, you can click the duplicates of these cards. And then with each of these, you'll remember when we click on the card, we have a feature that you can turn the card over. Now this is a little more legwork, but this would be something if you're specifically working on a specific target and you don't need a lot of cards on there. If you choose to use this and now play a memory game, we can click memory. It allows us to create our grid. So let's just go up to 12 cards. We can also number the cards. So that way, when the cards are turned over on their back, they're going to be just blank cards. This way with the numbers, when you have a student that's participating verbally, you can ask them which cards do they want to turn over. So instead of saying the second card on the first row or the third card from the right, etc., they can just tell you the number. And I'll show you that in a minute. Also, we've had a lot of requests that once you select a card, if the card is incorrect, if they do not get a match, the teacher may want to focus on that and explain the similarities and the differences or why it is not a match. For those purposes, you simply click the focus cards after each answer, and that will prevent the card from automatically flipping back over. So now you can teach along with the gameplay. So once we've selected that, we can choose our cards or random, and now you see we have the layout. So with this, Everything's ready to go. The students just simply click a card. And since we had focus each answer, now it presents those two cards. The teacher can explain the differences. They can practice, again, their articulation sounds. When we're ready to resume, we go back to the game board. So now with the audio on, the students can identify turn over card 8 and card 6. So we can do this, and it does the same thing, and pause it. If we simply want to play the game, then we'll take the pause off. The students can play the game without that interruption of keeping the card on there. So that's a wonderful tool for the students to use. A nice feature is the game boards. I think we hit it a little bit when I first just was explaining what's on the library, but this is super neat because it pulls in multiple players. So for these activities, let me slide these to the bottom if I can. Yeah, so for these, we simply scroll through the game board of our choosing, and you see we have lots and lots of our game boards. This is wonderful because it provides that visual stimulation for the students, and it gives them the opportunity to select the game board that they're interested in for it as a group. So let's just choose the leprechauns. We can choose 1 to 6 players, so we'll choose 3 players, and then we start. So you notice our icons that the students chose are here on the bottom. If those sounds are distracting from the learning, we can turn the sound on and off with the button up at the top right. But we like it on just for game purposes. Our spin the wheel, when it's the student's turn, they simply click. So it provides that opportunity for them to participate with spinning the wheel. You can spin the wheel, the teacher can spin it for the students, or again, switch the remote control back and forth to each student. One of the requests we've had, and one question you may have, is not every student is working on the same skills. So you get a question from a teacher, from a district, etc. This is great, but how do I use this if I'm using it with students working on multiple objectives? For those purposes, we will have one game board. These cards, these articulation cards are, say, for me. But say Tom is working on a different goal. Well, I can simply go to the library, choose a different activity. Say Tom is working on L blends. And when I do that, that brings up a different tab. So now we can use these cards. Tom can do his practice, and then when it's his turn, we'll go, let's see, back to the game board, and he can take his turn. Then I can work on my sounds, close that, I can take my turn. Now it's Tom's turn again. Oh, there we go. So we will go back to his cards. Does that make sense? Anybody?
It does.
I'm not,
Okay. We've had a lot of requests for it because in groups, we don't necessarily work on the same skill, especially if it's articulation or language. I may be working on plurals. Another student may be working on answering WH questions, things like that. So we've had requests on how can I use how can I use these digital products with multiple goals? So even though we're going to target one game board for all 3 of my students, not every student is going to be working on the K sound, for instance. So if I'm working on another activity, then I highlight my fun day. Let me see, where'd it go? There it is. So I highlight this one. So for Tom, now he does his activities. Correct. You said blocks, blonde, and blanket, or Tom make a sentence using these 3. He's done his activities, and now it's time for him to play the game board. So even though we have to go back to that main game board, we can create open tabs across the top of the page for each student to target their specific goals. Is that a little clearer?
Is that the only way to do it, is through the tabs at the top?
Currently, that is. We have had a lot of requests for this feature, so we're currently in development of making this a built-in feature, so that if you wanted to open up multiple ones for a specific game board, you would have that option. That is a different layer of development that they have to figure out how to implement multiple decks open on one screen. So they're working on that now. That will be a future upgrade. But for now, that's the only way to do it, if you want all students to participate on the same game. Now, if you want each student to have their own game board, you could do that as well. So instead of me clicking on this, I could also go to game board, select the leprechaun, select a hat, and a game board as well. So now if I'm with the group, I've got a game board for all 3 players, but Tom doesn't want to participate. He wants his own game board. So I can click over here, and when I pull up Tom's game, he has the same game board. It's just nice for students to be able to see their icons on the same game board with the other students, so that they're able to use those activities. Does anybody want to click this? I think it's still open. So anybody that has their mouse, they should be able to click on any of these at this time, like spin the wheel, the sound, etc. Great job, Tom.
Thanks.
And then of course you have the spin the wheel down at the bottom as well. You can click that link to spin it's over here on the right below the game board, over to the right, up, up. There you go, over to the right. There you go, right? One more, there you go. And then if you just want the game board on, say you've done your activities and you're not necessarily taking a spin or a turn after each activity, you've targeted your concepts with the students and now you're just wanting them to do gameplay. You can also hit the black bar here at the bottom, and then that will hide the cards at the bottom and just give them the game board. And then to bring the cards back, just click that button and it'll do the same thing. Then to scroll, 2 ways. We can click the bar at the right or the arrow, and this will give an individual card. Some people think that takes too long. If you hold it down, it will continue to scroll. They say that takes too long as well. So if you take this and just click the card and slide it to the left, you can do that as well. Oh, I'm at the end. So you can just take those and it will continue to slide. So you can just slide those around. It's just a quicker way to get through the card deck. Let me show you one that has multiple. Let's see, let's go here. For this card deck, it's a little different because we're targeting one specific sound. Let me see. That's the same thing. So you see, this is the easy way to scroll through the cards. So if you're working on the beginning sound, the middle sound, or the end of the word, you'll notice those are going to be highlighted in red here. So it's just a nice, quick way for the teachers to be able to get to those cards and not use a lot of therapy time for that. So with the modes, that's the best part, because not only are we going to teach these cards, we're also going to have those students play those interactive games. One thing that we're very excited about is let's see where I am. I'm gonna click off some of these for you. I'm gonna click off that one as well. You'll notice this library, this is our current look. So we have our new features, our pricing options here, terms of service, our topics that we have. But you'll notice for this, it is a long list. So as teachers are looking through, you can imagine planning a session, or you've logged in and say, I'm looking for a specific card and it's just taking me a while to find that. New and exciting, we are updating our look. So this is the new look. It will go live very soon. So I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek on this. One of the biggest things we've had is how can I find items easier for quicker reference so that I can start my session or while I'm in a session. So we've made our topics bar more pronounced. So you can search by topic. So you'll see early skills, simply click it, and then that will provide those items in a easier to find way. So that's a nice new feature we have. We're also working on a search feature so they can actually type in the name of the product. But another cool feature is we've categorized them and colored them in an easier to read format. So with this, you'll notice the books, they're all here together. So it's not one giant column of products. So it's easier to find the books in this one box. Same thing with our fun decks. Instead of having an entire page that you scroll through, they're here in this one box. So you can find anything that you need as far as fun decks and card decks. And one exciting feature that is brand new, it may go live, it may be live today. So you are really getting a super sneak peek at this, is our lotto games. We have our chipper chat games, our board games, our card games, etc. We also have our bingo and our lotto games, and this is a wonderful tool for that interaction with students. Take our younger learners that are working on categories, vocabulary, things like that. We'll take food. So with food, again, we're going to log in, username and password. I'm going to keep me logged in. So once we sign in, now you see we have our lotto. So it's a different look. It will provide instructions initially, let you know how to play the game. Once we see this, the second time we come in, the third time we come in, instead of having to look at the instruction cards, we can click the do not show again sign box, and that will not appear next time we do those activities. We can add players, as many as we like. One turn per player, or player earns a free turn after they match. Whichever way you choose to play the game, we'll do one turn per player. And you'll see now we have our lotto games that are on. So again, this is for building vocabulary, following directions, describing, creating questions, whatever activity level that you want for this vocabulary instrument. So click to play, we simply click the tab, have the student identify and see if that is on their game board. If it's not on their game board, then we'll put it in the discard pile. Player 2 is going to take a turn. Simply, again, click the card deck. Does this card appear? It's not there, and back. So now you see, now it goes to player 3. Click the card, no match again, and back to player 1. I promise we have matches on here somewhere. Oh, a freebie. So we'll take a free one and we'll place it on the potato. Match there. This game's harder than we thought, isn't it? So for these, when you get a match, you'll simply click, drag over. If it's not on the game board and you release the mouse, it will go back. You can increase the picture if you're learning vocabulary, if you want to have the students name the items before you do the activity. Simply click off when you're done.
There was popcorn on there.
Ah, did I miss it?
You totally missed it. Can you get it out of the discard deck?
You can. There we go. And then the goal for that is for the students to cover all of their game pieces. If at any time you can end the game, once all of the playing cards have been discarded from the play deck, then these will flip over and reshuffle back into the playing deck. I'm trying to get through them so that you can see how that actually works.
I'm getting hungry.
Well, we're gonna see what all we can find for you. Oh, that's already on there. And the nice thing is we're using the clear, colorful photos as well. And for student play, they can select between the playing deck and the discard deck as well, just as we would any other card game. And then you see there, once all the cards have been played out of the play deck, these do shuffle back into the playing deck from the discard deck. You have your 3 players there. Once you're done, you simply end the game, and that takes you back to the beginning. So you can play this with 1 player, 2 players, 3 players. Just as I did, where I gave remote control to everyone, you can do the same. Teachers can do the same with all of their students in those sessions, to where when it's that student's turn, they have control of the mouse to do those activities. And then when we're done, we simply click off, and we're back to the main library as well. Same thing, I may want, I may be working on a lotto game, but I have Sheila here with me. Sheila may be working on a fun deck, but yet, I have Ann working on a workbook. Those can do the same thing. Again, currently, I would have 3 tabs open at the top of the page with each of those activities, and then I would simply click the tab, the student would do the activities, and then I would click on the other student when it was their turn. So it's a nice interactive way for the students to participate and not just be in on a video chat, so to speak. Any questions on any of this? Are you getting any, I know most schools are back now, and I know most are doing remote learning for the majority of instruction. Some are doing hybrids where they're half in a couple of days and then the other days are remote. So this is a nice tool for teachers to be able to use and access for those students. And at any time, you'll notice there, always remind them of the tutorials. When you click those, nice, quick, simple tutorials for them to understand the products that we have, the game modes that we have, the go together mode. Now for memory, we had the matching cards. Our go together mode, that is for cards that have an answer. So you take photographs with it, the answer is a camera. It's not an identical card, but they're question and answer cards. And then our freestyle mode, our memory mode, the workbook overviews, and this new link tutorial also includes the new interface that we have available with the drawing features, etc. Any questions on anything or how it is actually used by teachers?
This was an excellent, I think this gives us a good conversation starter with the new normal for this year. So really, thank you so much. And just to let everybody know, Kevin's going to be doing a presentation for me and Marilyn, the LI or ILA in one of the school districts is doing a virtual membership drive at the end of this month, and he's doing a presentation, and it's going to be very similar to this. So, I talked to Thomas, and I think he's going to be the perfect guy to do something like this. And like I said, this is a perfect conversation starter, and this is what the teachers are really going to be looking for. So thanks, Kevin, and I'll probably give you a call in the next couple days to just go over the bullets of what we need to be presenting these folks. So thanks again.
Sure, I will be more than happy to do that. And if anyone has any district, any school that would like just a simple question answer session, I know sometimes the tutorials are great information, but they may have a specific question on how to implement it in their district or how it actually would work or look like in their school. I'm more than happy to spend time speaking with them or providing answers to you guys to explain how this actually can be used with their teachers.
Thank you.
You are so welcome, so welcome. So if you want to, yeah, just take a look at these. Does everyone have access to the digital library? Or do you just know where it is on site? Do you have access to be able to play and manipulate all the different products?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, yeah, you should have access. If you don't, just email us and let us know so that we can get you set up so that you would be able to log in, use all the different products, click around, see the features, etc. And then, of course, if you have any questions at any time, just let me know and I can walk you through it. Are there any other questions?
I agree with Tom. This was wonderful. Thank you so much. And Tom, thanks for suggesting it.
Yep, you are welcome. I know it was kind of brief. I can be kind of long-winded at times, so if you want more in depth, I will be more than happy to do that. But yeah, it's a nice way to see not only what's available, but how you would actually use it with your students. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Wait, it's Ann. I'm sorry, I apologize. I got caught on the phone and got in about 12 minutes into your presentation. So are you going to send out the link for this so that I can hear it from the beginning?
Yes, this will also be included on that same reference link that we have. It will just be the next video that will be added probably this afternoon or first thing in the morning. So it will be available.
Thanks a million. Thank you.
You are very welcome. All right, thank you guys. And if you have any specific requests, let me know and we'll cover it next week.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.